Well, right or wrong, I did it today. Hopefully by next week, this will be running again. Went and broke down, I ordered the shaft, the other half shaft that I need. Still debated whether I should have bought the whole damn thing. I ended up buying it through that disc mower doctor. I don't know if it's going to get shipped today. I screwed around too much on the computer this afternoon. So I don't know if I got it ordered early enough. This is Thursday. No, today's Wednesday. Yeah, I might have it this weekend. Yeah, today's Wednesday. I don't know what time their shipping pickups are, but if they can get it in the mail today, I mean, I ordered it here at 4 o'clock. So whether they get it packaged and can get it on a truck today, I might actually have it by Friday. I don't know what they're shipping. From where it's coming from, it should only take 2 days. If not, I don't know if I'd get it Saturday, but I should have it by Monday for sure. I still debated whether I should have ordered the whole damn thing. There is no play or anything in that U-joint, so I don't think I really needed to buy the whole shaft. It ended up, of course they don't tell you until you get to checkout. I ended up having to pay tax on this, and there's nowhere in there where it said I could send in a tax exempt form or anything. So $60-some in tax on it, but the half shaft was $1,115, and then whatever tax, it came to $1,181. But I could have got the whole shaft for $1,358. So by the time I got tax on that, it'd been over $1,400. So like I said, that's the question. Do you, for that extra $280 or whatever it was, buy that shaft and have, of course my shield's gone, it's been broke off for several years. I would have had a whole complete new shaft and shield and everything. The half shaft here's got the shield and everything to it. So like I say, it's half dozen one, six of the other, I guess. I don't know. I don't have the money to spend, and like I said, I checked that. There is no play in that U-joint. So I don't think it's actually necessary to waste the money on it. Still debating what I should have, but I don't know if I'm going to continue telling the story about the bankruptcy or not. I got a meeting with the lawyer tomorrow, and I talked to a different lawyer here today that he recommended because it might. Like I said, I don't know whether I should tell anything more about it. I mean, I get enough from people basically telling me I should just let everything fall apart and let it go to hell and let it bulldoze it all under, start over, do this, do that. You know, that's so much better than trying to save what you got, I guess. But I don't know. Like I say, I don't know if I'll continue telling the rest of it or not. Because, like I say, things go backwards and it might lead to something that goes forward here yet. So, kind of somewhat got a plan after talking to the second lawyer, option-wise I can go. So, but, like I say, if anybody seems to be interested in it, I might tell. If not, like I say, I get enough grief from other stuff. But, like I say, right now, so I should be able to start mowing hay. The weather forecast for next week looked decent right now, but 6 hours later it could change. So maybe tomorrow or something I can hook this up and get this greased up, ready to go. So I just slip that shaft in and go. And I got well over 200 acres I got to get over here yet. I haven't mowed yet. Like I say, this field here, that's just all crap. I just need to get it mowed down, let it lay. You know, all that's good hay. Back here's good hay. The other field, 9 acres around the woods there, it's got to be mowed off. It's all crap. It's where I had the corn last year, never did nothing with it. Got all the second crop up the other road. A couple fields of first crop yet. That might just end up being bedding. I don't think there's anything. Nothing really looks dead, but it's got dead stuff in it. So desperation for feed, it would make feed, but more likely it's going to have for bedding. I got the other neighbor over there where I've been brush hogging. I got to get that mowed down. That might just get mowed and laid. depending what the hay looks like and how much bedding hay I do need. And then I got 30 some acres down in the next county at my cousin's. That's all going to get mowed down and laid. Just let lay. No sense hauling it home. I won't need as much bedding this year. But I got to get ground cleared off so I can spread some shit so I have room to stack bedding. I haven't done nothing more with the bagger here yet. I looked again on the description of that metering roll. I still don't understand why the stainless steel one is cheaper than the rubber one. I don't understand. Doesn't really say if one is more geared for a certain product than the other. So I'm probably going to end up calling the company tomorrow and question them. But as you remember, I measured that box. Width-wise is 12 inches. The description says 10 inches and 16 3/4 overall, which would make sense that you're not going to have a 12-inch roller in a box that's 12 inches wide. You got to have some room, so it's probably a 10-inch roller in there, and that shaft would be roughly 16 inches overall. So either meter would be the right one. I just got to find out, you know, if it's one, it's earmarked, like the stainless steel one might be earmarked more for propionic acid than inoculants or something. So I got to figure that out, and I haven't done nothing with the tire here yet. I do have another thing to check on that bagger. Might have to take it somewhere here yet. But the way things are going right now, I said to hell with it, what money I do have, get that shaft, that was the main thing, get the hay done. Some other things are happening, like I say, I got a job lined up for this fall. Who knows how much or how long things are going to progress for that, but that would be at least 2-3 months anyhow. Another lawyer we've been waiting on for 2 years, if they ever figure out get their head out of their ass, that will be done. And they say that's something I probably shouldn't talk about either. It's really nobody's business, but it adds some relief. If I could find a tire for this thing, I really don't want to tow it to 20-some miles to the auction, but that's another piece that could go. But the one tire is junk. And the problem with this thing is it has these wider flotation tires on it, and I believe they're 14-inch, and where are you going to find a casing of 14-inch, anything like that? So I end up having to buy a new tire. This is probably a $150, $200 tire that I put on something I take to the auction, maybe get $500 for, and by the time they take their 15% commission, is it really worth it? Might as well let it lay there. Either that or get it fixed, maybe put it in the paper. Somebody might be desperate enough for it. Problem is, well, you can always change it over to something else. It's got a 220 motor, and how many people actually have a 220 outlet they could plug into? So, it's just a little crap shit that I'm doing here today. It took me so long trying to figure out if I was going to order that thing. I came across a website where you can get discount coupons, and they actually had this place listed with a 25% off coupon. But nowhere would it take me anywhere to apply it, and wouldn't give me a code or nothing. I monkeyed around there for at least an hour and a half trying to figure out a 25% coupon, which I think it said up to 25%. So being what this order is, it might only take 10% off it, which would still be $100, but every time I clicked on the link, it would take me somewhere else to a different site. One time I click on it, says to apply it on eBay. So I went to eBay and tried to look up anything from this place, and I can't find nothing. So I don't know if they have a store on there or not. I just finally said the hell with it. But that's the gist of it. Got something happening, whether it keeps going forward or not, but that's the gist of today so far. Other than taking out a load of manure so I can clean barn again. So I guess if I find anything more interesting, we'll be back. Had a question about, is it hard to do these gable ends? It's really not. you pretty much have whatever option you want. Now when I built this, we did it with these canvas ends on both ends. It just depends how much weather you get. Now, like I say, all they do is just like the canvas, they hang them up there, and you can't really see it on, but they have these D-rings. Get back here. Still can't too far up to see anything, but they have the D-rings welded onto the canvas, and then they just take that lacing that they use and go around the truss, and them D-rings all the way around to hold it. And then like these columns here, they have these pockets, and it's just a 1-inch PVC pipe laid in there, and the same thing, and that keeps it from going sideways and keeps it taut to the wall. And then when it comes to like your doorways, find a spot here where it shows up something. Now because of the track up there, they have it pinched behind that track, but anywhere else they'll put these collars on, and then they just cut out your opening, and then that keeps everything from blowing and tight. But the one problem like I have right now, and it doesn't bother me too much on this end, and this is the north end of the barn, so it doesn't quite get the heavy winds and stuff, but that lacing and them D-rings eventually get warped, wore, and it is starting to fall down there. Like I say, like most of winter, I left that door there open pretty much all last winter because, like I say, really don't get much winds through there very often unless, you know, it's a big storm. So for the most part, even if that did fall down up there, it's not hurt anything. But it is something, it's going to have to be taken care of probably here next couple of years if I'm doing much of anything in here. Like I still hope to have animals of some sort. But that's what I had down at this end of the barn. And it's been probably, what now? Oh, at least 6-7 years ago now. This is the south end, and it just gets hammered with the wind. And the first problem I had, if I ever get down here, is this part of the main cover. This red flap folds over to keep wind from getting up underneath it. And there's a cable here that runs all the way through to the other side to tighten this down, you know, to keep that from working. So that cable rusted out, and I had this flapping in the air. And it started ripping this front panel too. And it broke D-rings and stuff. So this is a coverall building. Any company that builds these will work on them. They're all pretty much the same. I called the one about, I wanted this end relaced. Well, they tell me they can't do it from the outside. They have to do it from the inside, which I think he was full of shit, because that red flap will fold clear back to here, and you can come in from the top all the way here and do that. Well, as it turned out, it's a good thing I decided against it, because they say a lot of them D-rings are starting to rip off. So I made the comment, if I had to do over again, I'd do sheet metal. He said, well, we can do that. So that's what they came in here and do, and all it is they took 2x6s and just screwed them into these uprights with self-tapping screws every 2 foot, and you can see where they just butted the next board and spliced there and just kept going all the way up. And then they had sheet metal, and they had it all cut to whatever length they really needed in what spot, but it's still, you know, squared off. So after they screwed the sheet metal on, all they did is they came through here with one of them vibrating saws, or just some metal cutter, and cut it to the radius. And then they glued that pipe insulation. Just took some liquid nails and that pipe insulation, stuck it on the end of the sheet so it wouldn't cut into the cover, which most of that's gone because the birds were picking at it. But yeah, if I was to do it over again, I would do the sheet metal. That's the other thing he told me. He said for this end panel, I can't remember now if they included labor or not, but he quoted me $5,000 for this end panel. For something that might last 10 years, where this was right around $8,000 if I remember right. But he was coming clear up from Pittsburgh to do the job and stuff, so. And I made out of the deal. One guy was a new worker on there and he left the guy's ratchet straps up here. Called him the next day and told him about it. I even offered to mail them to him, and oh, don't worry about it, we'll be in the area sometime and get them, and I've never seen them back. But the ratchet straps really don't do me much good because instead of having hooks, they had the T hooks on them or whatever, so ain't much I can hook into them with. But yeah, these ends are simple and no big problem. Same way with this roof. If I ever had to replace this, just call up one of them companies, tell them I need a cover for 140 foot by 62 building, and well, you can have this whole roof on in a day. This end panel was up. I think it took us 5 or 6 hours. We ended up doing some woodwork on the inside of the milk house in there because water was getting in there and rotted some boards. But other than that, you can have one of these buildings up in less than a week if you really push it. The only problem with having to do this cover again is because I got them chimney vents up there, and it'd have to have a lift come in here to take them off. And if they come off, they ain't going back up. That was one thing I think a mistake I made. I should have, because I don't think they move enough air to matter, because you can see all the algae down there. I should have had exhaust fans down there, is what I should have done. This company, I thought they would do bigger. There are Lavore vents up there, and they must help some, because this building will get its own weather pattern. In the springtime, because frost will condense up there from the cow's breath because there's not enough air movement, and then it'll rain in here. Well, the last couple of years, I haven't had that much problem with water dripping in here because of that. So maybe that does help move some air. But really, should have had just right above them doors 2 big exhaust fans and put them on a thermostat. And that's what he should have done. But then I would probably have to have some kind of Lavore inlets in here to, in case this door was closed. You need to be drawing air in if you're drawing air out. That's what you want to circulate it. So, but yeah, like I say, it ain't all that much of a job. But depending on how much weather it was going to get, I'd go with sheet metal over this plastic again. Just trying to think what other options there were. Because it's like the walls. I could have got them big cement blocks and stacked them up here and just bolted the trusses to that as for foundation. Just need some, and that's all these posts are. They're not really holding up the building, they're actually holding it down, the way the guy described, because this is like a big parachute. It wants to lift. That's why these posts go 5 foot in the ground, and they drilled a 2 foot diameter hole, belled it out to 5 foot, put the post in, poured the concrete, so you got like a 5 foot diameter bell down in the ground, holding that in. So, but like I said, I thought I'd just answer that question. It came up about that, so I guess just figure out what else to do here now.